Lady Gaga did a duet with R. Kelly that she now regrets, and she vowed to take the song that she worked with him on off streaming services like Spotify, iTunes, and Google. And it turns out she actually succeeded in doing this very thing. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and I know this is of course a little different than what we've usually been doing, but again, I'm trying to expand the content of the channel. I want to talk about more than just Uber and Lyft. I think I will soon stop pointing that out. I think it's going to start getting to be pretty obvious that I'm expanding, but this gives me a pretty good opportunity to talk about things like Spotify and music streaming services, which, I use to a certain extent. I am subscribed to Google Play, partly because I'm subscribed to YouTube Premium, and that is a bonus. I am not subscribed to Spotify. I do have it installed on my computer, and I actually still mostly buy CDs. But streaming music is kind of an interesting conversation for me. I like it and I hate it at the same time. I like it because it's convenient, and for someone who has built up his library of what he wants to buy music from and what he likes and how he wants to discover things, I like that streaming gives me that freedom to basically relive favorites and discover new ones from artists that I like. Where I don't like it is that it basically makes everything available at the push of a button, and then I think, therefore, it actually devalues it. Now, the value of the music. Now, Lady Gaga is an artist that I actually kind of hate to admit that I like. She's kind of this person that, yeah, you joke about, and it's sometimes hard to say you respect her with a straight face, but the bottom line is she makes really good music. I have all of her albums, and I enjoy all of them. Even Joanna, which might probably be technically her weakest, but there's still something, artistic about it. So much so that I even have this thing. I bought it, and then I bought a digital copy because I liked the cover so much that I didn't want to open it up. So, and apparently this is like a rare first print copy where you see how it's all shiny and foily and stuff like that. That was only done for first prints. But this now might actually be a collector's for two reasons. Not only for this shiny, nice cover, but also because of this track, Do What You Want, featuring R. Kelly. Now, you probably know exactly where we're going with this, because recently there was a new documentary series called Surviving R. Kelly. Now, I did not watch it on Lifetime. I actually bought the series. It was like $10 on HDX for Vudu. I don't normally do that, but I was definitely curious about this one, and I have to say, very, very disturbing. Probably most disturbing documentary series I've seen since Making a Murderer. It is, it definitely needs to be viewed, I think, for more reasons than one. Not necessarily for entertainment value, but because it really shows how we as a society have failed in bringing monsters to, justice, and we let certain amounts of abuse happen if certain people are rich and powerful enough. Because the sad thing about Surviving R. Kelly is that, well, he couldn't have done this alone. He had to have help, and you hear the help talking about it. Now, how is this related to the Apptrepreneur? Well, here's the thing. I can understand why a series like this would definitely kind of spook people a little bit into wanting to not support this guy anymore. And in fact, I will probably not buy another R. Kelly album. I've got a few, and I'm still pretty conflicted about what to do with those few that I have, but I will definitely not be buying any more R. Kelly music. I'm pretty certain I won't. And Lady Gaga, who worked on the track with this, she has one of the things she does is she supports women who are abused. She even did a song for an Oscar-nominated song called When It Happens to You for, I think it's called The Invisible Room. It was a documentary. It was something like that about women who are, abused on campuses, and nothing is done about it. So she has definitely got a very vested interest in this topic. So to have her doing a duet with R. Kelly, that creates a problem. So she made a big announcement that she regretted doing the song, that she was going to scrub it from the internet, and in fact, that appears to have been the case. I actually checked this morning, and Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play, all of them have it gone. And Billboard explains how this happened exactly. And it says, On Wednesday night, Lady Gaga issued an apology for collaborating with R. Kelly on the 2013 single Do What You Want, following a week in which Kelly's history of alleged abuse has once again been brought to light, this time on Lifetime's recent documentary series Surviving R. Kelly. What I am hearing about the allegations against R. Kelly is absolutely horrifying and indefensible, Gaga wrote in a note to fans posted to her social media accounts. Well, here's the thing. It's defensible if it didn't happen. It seems very unlikely it didn't happen. I want to make that absolutely clear. But he hasn't been convicted of a crime yet, technically. It's a minor thing, but we need to we just have to mention it, even though, again, he definitely seems like a scumbag, and I have no doubt he's guilty. But whatever. She later continued, I intend to remove this song off of iTunes and other streaming platforms and will not be working with him again. Less than 24 hours later, the Gaga Kelly version of Do What You Want was no longer able to be streamed or downloaded on several major music platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, and Apple Music, and is no longer playable on Gaga's official YouTube channel. An alternative version of Do What You Want that features Christina Aguilera duetting with Gaga, also recorded in 2013, is still available on the digital platforms. And, just as a side note, I liked the R. Kelly duet. I definitely did. The Christina Aguilera one, even if thematically it doesn't make as much sense, is better performed overall. It's actually kind of weird that Christina Aguilera is a better duetter. Like, she has so many hits where she's featured on someone's songs, and it's kind of a shame that she hasn't really been able to make a great solo song in a long time. But I guess we're talking about Spotify and streaming right now. The idea that one of Gaga's singles can be swiftly and thoroughly removed from the internet at large is a curious one. Upon its release, Do What You Want, the second single from her 2013 album Art Pop, was a modest hit for Gaga. It has sold 1.2 million downloads to date, according to Nissan Music, and accrued 92.6 million on-demand US streams. The song, which Gaga and Kelly performed together on Saturday Night Live and at the 2013 American Music Awards, peaked at number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100, which, by the way, it's funny, this isn't even my favorite song on this album. I liked Applause way, way better. What else did I like on this song? I liked Gypsy, I liked Art Pop, I liked Venus. Actually, I like quite a few of these, and Do What You Want was one that I liked, but it wasn't my favorite. So, anyway, while reps for Gaga did not respond to requests for comment, a source with knowledge on the situation says that Gaga had recently approached her label Interscope Records asking for their help in removing Do What You Want from iTunes and streaming services, and the label quickly moved to coordinate with the major digital music services in getting the song taken down. Yeah, and of course they would agree to that. First of all, that would look really bad on them if they did not agree to do that. And on top of that, I think one of the reasons Gaga wants this taken down, I mean, it's not the only reason, obviously, but she's in the middle of a big Oscar campaign. She's going to probably be nominated for Best Actress for her work in A Star Is Born. Definitely will deserve that nomination. And her song, Shattered, is favored to win the Academy Award. And, well, this is not exactly the kind of thing you want brought up during the awards season press. So she's gonna want to take this song off. It makes her look, like she's standing with the women, even though concerns about her doing a duet with R. Kelly were raised when she was recording the song, but she ignored it. But now that, the timing is a little odd. Of course, maybe, in all fairness, once you see that documentary, I hadn't thought too much about R. Kelly, even though I was aware of the allegations. And when you see that documentary, it's like, oh, geez. Oh my gosh. And so this might be a very complicated situation. I can understand why she would want to take it away. The source said that Gaga wanted to send a message by removing the song in addition to denouncing the past collaboration. How can Gaga erase one of her top 20 hits without affecting those still receiving royalties from its streams and downloads? In addition to Kelly as its featured artist, Do What You Want has 4 more credited writers. Gaga, Paul Blair, better known as DJ White Shadow, who also co-produced this song with Gaga, Martin Brezzo, a songwriter, producer who records this, I don't know how to pronounce that, and William, I don't know either. But he's known as the DJ hitmaker as DJ Snake. Prior to the song being released, co-writers are typically at the whim of the artist recording the song as to whether that track will appear on an album or be selected as a single, especially when the artist is also listed as a co-writer, as Gaga is on Do What You Want. Although it's extremely rare for an artist to decide to release a song and then unrelease it, that same control would apply, and the co-writers would not have a say in what happens to the availability of the record. It's also worth noting that Do What You Want is credited as a Lady Gaga song featuring R. Kelly, not as a duet between Gaga and Kelly. This is true. I think Kelly has like one verse in the 3.5-minute song, so it's not like a back and forth. In instances where the word featuring is used, those artists typically are not paid artist royalties for that song, instead being compensated with an upfront fee or by trading favors. Therefore, Kelly is likely not missing out on any royalties as a guest star on the version of Do What You Want that has been removed. Most importantly, Gaga needed the support of Interscope and parent company Universal Music Group in removing Do What You Want from digital music services after the label released the song as part of Art Pop. Interscope UMG hypothetically could have blocked the removal of the song since they own Gaga's masters, but considering that Gaga is one of the label's flagship artists and that few within the industry currently want to align themselves with Kelly and attempt to protect his art, which, yeah. The label's decision to help Gaga was undoubtedly a simple one. Similarly, Blair, Brezzo, and Grigashin could protest the removal of the song as co-writers, although their working histories of Gaga and the current anti-Kelly public sentiment would make that unlikely. Kelly has not yet spoken about Do What You Want being taken down, nor threatened legal action. Although, considering the daily onslaught of denouncements that have resulted from surviving R. Kelly, such action is not expected this time. I also think Kelly, with being, inspected by police and stuff over the last few days, I think the Georgia police, I think he's got more pressing concerns on his plate. Here's the thing. Even with its removal from streaming, the Lady Gaga R. Kelly version of Do What You Want has not been erased from existence. The song is still available on the physical edition of Art Pop, of which 477,000 copies have been sold on CD and vinyl per Nielsen Music radio station. Radio stations still have the rights to play the version, and users still upload it to YouTube, although they risk being marked unauthorized content by Interscope. As more artists grapple with the R. Kelly controversy and their past collaborations with the R&B artist, on Thursday, Phoenix issued an apology for bringing him out at Coachella in 2013. Gaga decided to take a nearly unprecedented step in distancing herself from their shared single. As a result, a top 20 Hot 100 hits is now nowhere to be found online. Now, I've got some mixed feelings about this. If you watch my other channel, you know that I actually heavily protested them removing Kevin Spacey from All the Money in the World, even though he's probably equally a scumbag, because I don't like the idea of censoring movies or censoring art. It's like, okay, yeah, we now know this thing, and yeah, he is a creep, but the thing is, so are so many other people, and it's like, well, where does it end? Do we start removing people from past movies because they were creeps? Like John Wayne said some pretty bad things about African Americans when he was alive. Are we going to now, edit him out of all of his videos and just simply erase him from existence? That I don't necessarily approve of. What happens if Steven Spielberg one day says something? I doubt he will. He seems like a saint. What if he one day says something that, we don't like? Like, are we going to note, Jaws, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, Adventures of Tintin, which I personally love, are they all going to go away? And now, of course, the question remains, what about the physical album? What about this? Are we going to actually have, new edition that replaces the R. Kelly duet with the Christina Aguilera duet? I mean, that'd be fine. I mean, that would just make this more of a collector's item, but where does it stop? Where does it stop? I mean, it is disturbing, by the way. It should be noted that it wasn't said in this article, but when Gaga announced she was going to remove the song, it caused sales of the song to jump. It became the number 15 song on iTunes or something like that. And that is a little disturbing that people would go out in droves to get this song just because she says she doesn't want to distribute anymore. But that's what happens. You say someone can't have it, and it just draws more attention to it. I firmly believe in not censoring things that you don't remove things from history, you don't try to erase things from history. You leave it available and you let people make up their own mind, especially since we're talking about a digital copy. It's not like you have like a bunch of CDs sitting around not being sold. So, but again, that said, yeah, I almost don't want to defend this too much because R. Kelly is undoubtedly a sick, sick man. And he probably is one of the few people I would label as a monster. So I don't blame Gaga for wanting to kind of put this behind her as soon as possible. It's just a very slippery slope. But it's also one more reason to own physical. One more reason. Yeah, the Spotify app is great. Yeah, the Google Play Music is great. Yeah, the iTunes app is great. But you know what? They can take away songs that you enjoy. And I like that song. Not as much as the other songs this album, and not enough to like say it's like the biggest loss to music if no one ever hears it again, of course. Personally, if they start removing I Believe I Can Fly, that would be a much bigger crime because I'm sorry, that is one of my favorite songs and I will probably never stop listening to it. It's just true. But, you know, it's complicated. It really is. Because in the grand scheme of things, when you consider the damage this guy has done to all these people, is removing a few of his songs even that big of a deal? Probably not. I just don't like the precedent it sends. And it's just one more reason why these apps, it's not secure. Because the next step could be, well, someone doesn't like this person's political opinion. And so, which has happened before, by the way. And we are going to remove their music because we don't agree with their political opinion. Or they get accused of something. They're not actually proven guilty yet by court of law, but they, you know, remove it anyway just because of accusations. And what if the accusations aren't true? Again, R. Kelly's accusations are probably true. Again, it's a really complicated situation. And this video has gone on way, way longer than I intended. But anyway, what do you folks think? Did any of you watch Surviving R. Kelly? Do you agree with removing his music? Will you ever personally listen to his music? What do you think of Lady Gaga and what she did? And have you listened to both versions? Do you like the R. Kelly or the Christina Aguilera version more? And are any of you actually going to go out and buy the CD now that it's kind of the only way you can listen to the song now? I would love to know. So comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. And you have access to my exclusive Patreon-only blog, which, you know, I might just write a blog piece about this because I've got a lot of thoughts on this. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.